is important to document and record our history, not only the distant past, but the more recent past. So today we are revisiting the activities of our local Rural Youth Club, which was a significant part in the life of many young people of the district for almost 3 decades. And I'm very pleased to say that the club's first president is also with us and has driven all the way from Port Elliot to be here. And it's my pleasure to invite him up onto the stage and honour us by declaring this meeting open. So will you please welcome Peter Caldicott.
I don't remember a lot about things that happened to me. I'm getting a bit old now and my memory's not as good as it was, but I don't remember any specifics in terms of dates and that sort of thing. But I remember the good times that we had, and a lot of things that happened that were, I think, character building and give people confidence, as well as all the social side. There was a lot of public speaking. People were asked to stand up in front of the rest of the members and have something to say. Well, they weren't asked, they were more or less told to do it. It was more or less mandatory. I remember debating teams against each other and also against other clubs, and that was quite enjoyable. We had various trips to various businesses and organisations that are relevant to perhaps the industry we're in, all those sort of things. Lots of guest speakers. The other day I was thinking about members of the various committees and during my time in the Rural Youth and prominent members, and I think it started to click a bit, and I sort of noticed 5 couples who eventually married from the Rural Youth members. And I thought, now this is pretty good. So it just goes to show that we did have a very happy club. And also you might think perhaps maybe not everybody went straight up after the meeting. But anyway, you don't want to hear any more from me. That's much pleasure now in declaring this meeting open.
Meeting, we would stand and recite the Rural Youth Promise, or the Creed. Well, I trust other clubs are doing this, and we weren't the only ones. This ritual continued up until the 1970s, and it was a bit like saluting the flag as we did at primary school. I wonder if there's anyone here willing to stand up and recite the promise for us. Joyce.
I'm sorry, I was thinking the Scout promise.
Adrian Probert right off the back.
I think I've got it right. I promise to do my best to lead a clean and honest life, to help others at all times, and to learn all I can of Australian country life.
Quite a bit of emphasis in Rural Youth was placed on meeting procedure, public speaking and debating, as Peter pointed out earlier. Encouraging young people to stand up in front of an audience and off the cuff address a meeting and put forward a convincing point of view. Personally, I prefer to have a well-prepared script. But we thought it would be entertaining today to revisit the old days and have a quick-fire debate. So it is with trepidation that we revisit a provocative topic from 1964, that a tractor is more useful to a farmer than a wife. We have 2 teams, the affirmative team and the negative team. Our first speaker of the affirmative team is Marilyn Probert, knee rolling. Marilyn was club secretary in 1964. She was a member of the debating team with Brother John and Graham Kamak, and they competed in the state final in 1965 and lost narrowly to Cummins District. Please welcome Marilyn Probert.
Well, after that introduction, it's not going to be all downhill from here. But as Peter has said, ladies and gentlemen, it is our task today to convince you that a tractor is more useful to a farmer than a wife. Well, of course, our team heartily believes this statement, and in proving our case, I will be discussing the development and usefulness of the tractor, Our second speaker, Andrew, will talk about the usefulness of wives. And Cam, our very experienced and eminent third speaker, will present a Joe Hockey type budget analysis. The necessities versus the feel goods of farming. And Cam, of course, is well qualified to give this analysis, having been a farmer for over 60 years. Well, he's also got a wife, and he's had her for 50. Now, the first recorded use of the word tractor, meaning an engine or vehicle for pulling implements, comes from early in the 20th century. Their invention allowed farmers to move away from the use of horses and ensured easier and more efficient farming. As well as just pulling things, tractors were able to transfer power to other stationary machines. And later, with the invention of power takeoff and three-point linkage, power could be provided to other implements so that they worked while being pulled along. The tractor now is the ultimate multitasker. Cultivating, mowing, planting, spraying, harvesting, whatever the job, the first assistant the farmer turns to is his trusty tractor. In the modern age, though, space technology has been incorporated into tractors through GPS devices and onboard computers. For instance, ladies and gentlemen, if you buy this beautiful John Deere, not that I'm a representative or anything, the farmer can program and lock tractor and implement settings, go back to the office, log on and check up on how the tractor's being operated. This is fantastic. The farmer can go about the more important tasks of the farm and leave the basic work to his helpers. Maybe even his wife could drive it. Oh no.
Hurry up, come
As
on.
well as automatic steering, this machine, see it's a nice red one, has software to measure and monitor your business and create maps while you're working. And ladies and gentlemen, while this incredible machine is steering itself, mapping the ground, keeping a record of what it's done, where it's been, at what speed, where and why, it's also making sure that the farmer is kept warm and comfortable during his long hours of work. This is mind-blowing stuff. Now, while some farmers might like to operate their wives from afar, technology hasn't achieved that yet. But what is plain for all to see is that the usefulness of the tractor is unsurpassed by anything or anyone else. As the well-known writer and philosopher Bruce Russell once said, a man who's got a very nice tractor would rather perhaps have it inside with a blanket on it and perhaps put his wife outside. Ladies and gentlemen, a tractor is the lifeblood of the farm. You just can't run a farm without one. A tractor is most definitely more useful than a wife.
The first speaker for the negative team is John Rowley. John was president of the club in 1964. He represented the Central Zone on the state committee. And as well as being in that state final debating team, he was also a finalist in the state public speaking competition, which was held the night before in the Rothmans Theaterette, as I recall. Don't we miss that building at the showground? Ladies and gentlemen, John Rowley.
Something amusing, Mr. Chairman, members of the affirmative team, ladies and gentlemen. Well, what an impossible job our opposition has undertaken today to try and convince an intelligent, good-looking group of former Rural Youth members that that a tractor is more useful to a farmer than a wife. Goodness me. Let me introduce our highly credentialed team who will build a case to refute this rather silly suggestion. As I was introduced, I'm John Rowley, 30 years experience as a farmer with a wife, and I will open our case. Our second speaker, Helen Mason, has had 28 years as a wonderful supporter of her husband Robin in their farming enterprise here at Lenswood. Helen will talk about some of the commercial and administration aspects that she has been able to contribute to that enterprise. Our third speaker, Chris Butler, as a major supplier of agricultural mechanics and technical support to farmers, Chris knows that the tough nut, the real decision maker in a farming enterprise, that he has to convince to make a sale is the wife. Okay. Yes, a tractor is a tool to perform a mechanical function. Really, it's just a heap of metal with an engine and a computer. Whilst the wife, now we're really talking, ladies and gentlemen, whilst the wife contributes in many ways to that farm and the farming enterprise. Wives provide the human qualities. They are creative, passionate and resourceful. They are also handy contributors with a farm income. Now, I don't believe you get any of these attributes from a tractor. Wives are also cheap to run. They don't guzzle diesel. They don't get flat batteries. And they don't get punctures. Just to add some diversity of opinion to our arguments, we conducted a survey across a large section of the farming community to test the subject of this debate. And I'm pleased to announce the result of that poll. 19% agreed with the affirmative view, 10% were undecided, and a whopping 71% overwhelmingly supported the fact that a wife is more useful to a farmer than a tractor. Thank you.
Guess you've got to ask the wife.
They're the only ones that can read the mind.
The second speaker for the affirmative team is Andrew Leslie. Andrew joined the club having to follow in his infamous brother's footsteps. His brother's nickname was Dynamite. Andrew has the distinction of being the last secretary of the club and therefore the custodian of the missing minute. Please welcome Andrew Leslie.
Who couldn't say that isn't sexy? Look at those curves. It's curvier than wide. Being the youngest one here today, I'm of the new generation. I was brought up by a strong-willed mother, and she taught me to be self-sufficient. I can wash, cook, clean, do everything a wife does. I'm still a bachelor.
We don't know whether to congratulate you.
You're quite an idiot.
We're heckling.
Yeah.
Time.
Okay. Average price of a tractor. A good tractor. A case tractor. It's red. Not like Maryland's green one. This is a beautiful tractor. $110,000 will buy you a good average tractor. plus GST. You only need to service it every 600 hours, and that would cost you approximately $500. Our average service, the hours it would take is 60 days for a server to work up to a service. In today's tractor, you have every comfort that you could want. You've got wonderful seating, better viewability, control, GPS.
I've had to look at the paperwork and fill it in to actually go ahead and buy it or borrow the money to do that. And of course there's always depreciation schedules that are needed to justify how you can spend your capital in a business. And of course there's always that objectivity that comes into it. What colour tractor this time? Green, red or blue? And what will it do that current ones don't? Owning one, let alone multiple tractors, just would not be possible, let alone a reality, without a wife to do the financial planning and administration. Because I recognise that farmers love the outdoors, they're very practical, and they want to solve problems on a day-to-day activities. When it comes to the administration and planning, though, the wife does the groundwork to help with the decision making. Research and media articles often reflect on women as great multiple taskers. So managing bookwork and money for the farmer is just one skill set that comes as a requirement of a farmer's wife. The second skill, attribute, talent, ability, whatever you want to call it, is the one that without a wife, a farmer would have absolutely no need for a tractor to start with. Farmers need reasons to keep working the land. We all know that. We all know that it's not about going to work for just short working hours. The Australian Bureau of Statistics says the average working week of a farmer is about 49 hours across 7 days a week. It's not about annual income because many wives work off farm to help out. And it's not about playing with the new tractor technology. It's about farming sustainability and the growth for the next generation. With 99% of farms in Australia still owned and run by family businesses, many of which are multi-generational, it's obvious that the farmer doesn't need a tractor. What he actually needs is a breeder, not the tractor. With 99% of farms still owned in families, sorry, I lost my place. They need an incentive to keep working, as we can see in the dreams and stories that come out in history books such as this. Histories of farming generations show that the farmland, whether it's small or large holdings, has remained sustainable and successful when there is a family to follow on through generations. Without children, who may grow up to work on the land alongside their farmer fathers, the incentive can easily be lost along the way. So hence, no reason for a tractor. So that's my second argument. A farmer definitely needs a wife because she has to be a good breeder. Finally, my third argument revolves around relationships. Unlike Andrew, I think was a little bit hard on women. Like most people, farmers need their wives or life partners for emotional support and interaction. At the end of every working day, conversation, whether it's whispered lovingly, spoken or even yelled, has to be better than a tractor's droning noise and too many hours of inward thinking. Having a wife provides an opportunity to share the day's burdens. Wives support and interact, tractors don't. So there it is, 3 reasons why a farmer's wife is much more important than his tractor. That's easy. To do the financial administration, to be good breeders, and to provide support and communication. Thank you.
active member. He was elected Vice President, a position of responsibility in 1973. Chris is best remembered for announcing his own arrival at functions, with a vocal sound that sounded like something coming out of a jungle. Please welcome Chris Butler.
You start talking, look, you guys, you're going to be in such bloody strife when you get home. I've met your mother, Andrew, and you and Hannah. All that independence will be definitely necessary after this. A farmer's wife is just more useful than a tractor, and I noticed that Cam spoke about the comfort zones that Mr. Edelson really likes. Often not that present in a tractor. So I'd like to start with a poem, and I'm not sure whether Robin Mason or Brian Vickers taught me this poem, but here it goes. The boy stood on the burning deck, picking his nose like mad, rolling it up in little balls and flicking it at his dad. Well, I want to know who the hell's going to clean that mess up. I don't think the tractor's capable. So hearken not unto what the previous speaker said, believe it not, for he is erroneous in his thinking that a tractor might accomplish anything like family care or the cleaning of snot. Such feats as a tractor can manage are of no moment compared to the support a wife can give her husband if he should be covered in salt. It's just not the right thing. And what about dogs?